pretty bad like today.
Well, I mean, nothing like it did then.
Okay.
And the point I'm trying to make is that hip hop was birthed from those streets.
Okay.
And those abandoned, burnt out buildings, and those drug infested, and it was horrible. And you know, that was the time.
It's kind of hard to imagine it was worse than it is today. That's crazy.
I mean, you know, it was a time where people from the Caribbean were trying to leave the Caribbean and come to New York for jobs. So they had to kind of settle in the Bronx and in Brooklyn and the poor neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying? These were the neighborhoods that was called the ghettos, you know, because the Jewish was once in those neighborhoods.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the poor people, that was supposed to be the poor people. And then we inherited that as the new poor people. So the worst conditions ever, hip hop came out of the worst conditions ever from black people. And of course, Latino people was all together. Puerto Rican, black, so, you know, Puerto Rican people had a lot to do with hip hop in New York, whether people want to believe that or not. Sure, it was pushed by the blacks more, but there were Puerto Ricans right along with the brothers. And, you know, I went back to Boston, and you know, because Boston's only 2.5 hours away, and I just was like, I love this shit. I seen Wild Style movie a few years after that, and Crush Groove, and then Run DMC, and I went to the Fresh Fest, and it just was like, you know, I made my own rap group, and there was guys that was rapping in the hood already, so, you know, I kind of had like a little advantage because I was back, because I had family in New York, and that's the birthplace. So anything that Boston or Connecticut or Rhode Island's getting, they're getting it later. They're getting shit later. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's not too much later, but it's still later. The thing about hip hop is whatever's the freshest. There was no internet, so you had to, if the Mecca was New York, and if you're in New York, then you're where the pie is baking. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting it shipped, you're not buying it you're right there where it's going on. And, you know, I try to be up in New York as much as possible, and I brought what I seen from New York and what they was doing, the block parties, rapping in the parks, because that's what hip hop was at first. It wasn't nothing else but that. It was the parks, DJs, and a microphone. And you had the break dancers rolling out the linoleum. You had the guys painting graffiti on that was one big thing. See, that was
those the shows I've seen, like some of the videos online. You guys were doing like, you know, some really like dope shows, man. Like
we practiced.
Yeah, was DJ doing pyrotechnics?
2 times he was Def Jeff then, but he would put the fire, and I came up with it, you know what I'm saying? But I came up with, you get the lighter fluid, put it on the part of the album of the, you know, where the paper is, right? And you figure you got about a couple of minutes before the album is gonna bend up from the heat. But because of the paper, it'll stay longer, and then put the lighter fluid on there, because it burns lightly, you know what I'm saying? And then it would come up, and then he would jam, that's the cherry, jam, that's the cherry, jam, that's the cherry, jam, that's the cherry, jam. You know, he would do that. We got videos of him doing that, and like, but that's what I'm saying, like, the problem with hip hop today is they'll never know that feeling of going out to the park at night with 1,000 people there, with huge speakers, and people getting on the mic to a DJ cutting a beat. I feel sorry for anybody who will never feel that, because that, believe me, there'll never be, I don't care how much money, whatever you do, that is the feeling that if you didn't feel that, then unfortunately you just didn't feel the essence and the realness of what hip hop was. And that's when no money was involved. It's just going on, unless you sold drugs at the park.
Man, you guys end up signing the Tommy Boy.
We used to do shows with RSO, we're battling, we had the Shavu roller rink, other crews are coming in, we got a beatbox, we got a DJ, we got 5 rappers, I mean, we got dancers and shit, like, I think we was 11 deep at one time. But Dave, at that time, would bring A&R guys from New York, because the Source office was based in New York at the time, so he was dealing with different labels. And a guy, I forgot his last name, but his first name was Eric. And he was the engineer, and this was Tommy Bush, like 1988, 89. He came and seen us open up for Naughty by Nature, and we killed it, like destroyed it. Like there was like 700-800 people in there, and man, this is when they did give shows in Boston. It was still early, you know what I'm saying, before Boston shut that shit down. But he came, we got the deal from Tommy Boy. He made a song called One in the Chamber.
Right. And the Patrolman unit sued you guys for that song, like, you know, basically, with Oliver North. Isn't that ironic?
I mean, it was election year at that time, and, you know, Reagan was getting ready, you know, I think he'd get reelected, but Oliver North was down with Reagan at the time. And for those who don't know, Oliver North was down with Contra, with the whole cocaine.
I ran Contra, yeah.
Right. So he was a general in the army. And then he ended up turning kind of like CIA, spy-ish. I don't really know what his role was. Long story short, we made One in the Chamber. It was about police that they killed. You know, that police in the early 80s was getting, in the late 70s was getting away with killing more black men in Boston than probably any other city in America at that time. Just slaughtering niggas and getting away with it. There was two particular cases that we rapped about. Christopher Rogers, and I still know their names. Christopher Rogers, I'm gonna tell you the story. Backstory with artists that almost made me cry. Christopher Rogers, he was under a car and the police shot under the car and killed him, 17 years old. Right? Went under the car and shot him. No gun or nothing. Had shorts on, a t-shirt in the summertime. Nathaniel Acton was in Jamaica Plain Projects. Got shot twice in the back of the head in the hallway of the project. Twice in the back of his head. And the police got off on that. Now, just recently, his son hit me up. His son's locked up, and he thanked me. You know, Nathaniel Acton's son, he had hit me on my DM, said he's locked up, said he's coming home soon. But he thanked me. Now imagine that I made that song like in '88. That was how many fucking years ago. He probably wasn't even born, and he thanked me. So it's just crazy how things are. But when I watch people marching, because I went to Ferguson. You know, I'm heavy into stuff like that.
Yeah, I hear that in your music, you know, and that's why, like, I feel like, you know, the Eminem, like, they don't resonate with me. Like, you know, I feel like, I would say, like, you know what I mean, I enjoy his music. I think he's a talented MC, but, like, you're on the same level. You're a dope MC. Like,
I appreciate that. I mean, you know, Rod, man, my thing is, like, doing all these interviews and stuff, and when that comes up, it really made me realize something I never realized before. You know, as you get older, you get wiser, and it's true, I'm wiser. But everything that I went through in Boston, how I grew up, shaped me to feel this way about him now.
No,
and I see that, I didn't know that.
No,
5 years ago.
I feel like, you know, I really enjoy your worldview, because you see the world like a lot of the similar way that I do. And I kind of just like looking, because I feel like the media kind of portrayed the situation, but then like kind of like looking at it and hearing your perspective, I feel like a lot of times like your perspective really doesn't get to be told. And I think like now, like, you know, it's getting like anybody like who would really take the time, like I saw the Adam 22 interview and, you know, Tasha K, like, you know, these are really intelligent people.
Right.
And like, you know,
yeah,
and you know, it's like if you really look more in depth at the story, like what's really going on is like, you know, it's these people in the music industry that are kind of trying to paint you a certain way and push a narrative.
Okay, well let's pause that for a second. Let's take the Diddy situation, right?
Yeah.
When you look at what's happening with the internet, the powers that be, the people that run shit, have seen how great of a tool it could be to control everybody and basically wipe us out. And that's what they're doing now. Like when you look at the Diddy situation, he's being tried based on 3 civil suit paperwork, meaning Cassie's, that paperwork that they filed, okay. Feds take that and look at that. The new suit, which like 30 years ago, which this girl, that we still don't know who she is, said that he raped her in the studio 30 years ago. That's just now coming out. Though that paperwork, they're reading that. And then Little Rod.
Yeah.
Little Rod's paperwork. So they're basing it off of civil suits. None of those have anything to do with criminal. These ain't criminal charges that any 3 of these people brought up. Cassie maybe could have, but she didn't. She wanted the money. This other woman, maybe she could have, she didn't. She wants the money. We all know Lil Rod wants the money. He's asking for $30 million. So once you start asking for money, that becomes civil. Criminal is over here. What do we know? We know that Puffy had parties. He threw parties, okay? I was never at any of his parties. I never got invited. If I got invited, I probably would have went like thousands of other celebrities, rappers, athletes, politicians, and heavy hitters have been through. He was the party thrower, and everybody comes to the party. That's just what it is.
100%.
Okay.
It was a big deal.
He's been doing that his whole career. Puffy's been like a promoter his entire career, other than being
when he was at Howard, he was
started exactly. All right. So here we go, and look at the things that they're harping on, like something like in the hood, like okay, me and you, let's say we had a hotel, and we said, yo, we're going to some strippers, man, come over, man, have some fun. In our mind, we're gonna go, yes, get some strippers, we got some money, yeah, but guess what? That's prostitution. So they're looking at that as something that is done every day in our culture, every minute, every day. Now they're saying, well, that's prostitution and they're sex workers and this is, all right. But they can't prove that. And if everybody's of age, there's nothing that's gonna violate any more of that other than soliciting prostitution. Okay. In Miami, the legal limit is 18 years old. Now, in the country, a lot of states are 16, so Americans prefer it anyway. Yeah. Not just Oklahoma,
this is
South Carolina, Atlanta, like there's a lot of places that are 16 years old, but Miami happens to be 18. So, all these parties Diddy had, we know he's the party man. Again, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of celebrities and well-known people have been to these parties. All right, so,